All right. So, thinking of some more videos to make. I want to be here for a little bit. Some people, they're actually waiting for trains. Other people are just dwelling here. They're going to be looking for shelter for the snow. And this is one thing. So, even though I don't give money to people on the street, I stopped doing that a long time ago. I do get a little emotional, and I don't care what color they are. Anybody on the street, anybody starving, anybody cold, hungry, without a stable place to live, it's not a laughing matter. I don't find it funny. And if you do, just know that can happen to you one day. Karma is a you know what. This is a curse-free channel, but just know that it can happen to anybody when you least expect it. But yeah, I look at life experiences as lessons that need to be learned. And I'm gonna keep reiterating that homelessness is a lesson on the simple fact that we have to work. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You have to clean yourself up. You gotta tighten your laces on your boots or your sandals or your Air Jordans, and you gotta put the work in. And this is what I meant to talk about with this video. If it's a job you don't like, a lot of us have jobs we don't like. Let me tell you this right now. You want to come upon somebody at your job, your place of employment, that you can't stand, you don't like. It's a lot of people at my job I'm at right now that I cannot tolerate being around. I could give you, think about at least probably more than 5, well, less than that. But here's the technique I have for you. Just because they're in a bad mood, they're angry with life, they're upset with the decisions that they made, doesn't mean you have to be angry. Don't let another person's energy dictate how you feel. If they're not content with how life is treating them, that's their problem. That's not your problem that they're upset with the choices that they made. Because the angrier people get in life, it's based on their decisions. You don't really see a lot of angry 5-year-olds, a lot of angry 8-year-olds, a lot of angry 10-year-olds. It's mostly adults that are upset with life, and it's because of the choices they've made. And I'm glad I'm finally realizing, I realized it a long time ago, but the key to happiness is the energy you have and the choices that you make, making the right choices. And sometimes I make the wrong choices. I'm not completely perfect, but it was like, here's an example. It's this lesbian at my job, and I'm only bringing this up because it's a common pattern with this. I notice it's a lesbian at my job, and she's very. So last Sunday, I just asked her. It was less people in the facility, and I was bringing up how I take life more serious now. I didn't when I finished high school. When I was out of high school, guys, I didn't understand the concept of work. I thought that work replaced the time you spent in school. That's why it's called an occupation. It's how you occupy your time. I always had the conception, the notion that the time you spend out of school is for work. When work is for paying your bills, work is for learning more skills to be better, contribute to society. Work is for mostly contributing to society. That's your occupation. That's what your occupation is for. But I simply put her on the spot and I asked her, what do you utilize from everything you learned in high school? she asked me, we were talking about high school, and she said, "Did you finish?" I said, "Yeah, but if I had the choice, I would do it all over again because I appreciate education now that I'm older." But I asked her, "What do you utilize with what you learned in high school?" And I don't think she learned very much, just based on some of the things I hear out of her mouth. But she said she didn't really give me an answer, and I expected that. I don't know if she was mad about that, but with me, you gotta, when we have conversations, sometimes you really think about things. Like every conversation I have with people, they really think, they analyze what they believe. I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but having a conversation with me will really make you think sometimes. So when I saw her yesterday, she was real belligerent, and and like I said, I don't give people that satisfaction. I move away, or I just completely avoid them if possible. Because I think of it like this too. If you're significantly older than me and you're trying to get a rise out of me, it tells me enough. It tells me that you really don't have much to lose, really don't have much going on for yourself, and you're not going to bring me down. I'm not going to stoop down to your level. So when you deal with people at the workplace that you don't care for, don't feed into their energy. And let this job be a lesson that this not the end for you. Like that movie Barbershop, the character Jimmy, I kind of identify with him a little bit. It wasn't the end for him. He didn't see himself working in a barbershop for the rest of his life. That's why the next movie he worked for the mayor. Because in real life, the actor was supposed to go to law school, but he decided to be an actor. But jobs, they're not filled with really good people. Jobs are saturated with sometimes your drug addicts, your ex-cons, your single mothers barely getting by, your addicts, not just drugs, but any kind of addiction. That's why you don't see them on weekends. They call off of work because they're trying to satisfy their vices, their addictions. These are what jobs are saturated with. Jobs are not meant to be done long term. Jobs are stepping stones. Careers are for people with a purpose. And in the next video, I'm going to tell you how you can prepare yourself for a career.